Ever wondered how network administrators protect systems from cyber threats? Well, it's a fascinating dance of strategy, skill, and a deep understanding of the digital battlefield. You see, the world of cybersecurity is more than just firewalls and antivirus software. It's about understanding the ever-evolving threats and being prepared to counter them. Network administrators play a crucial role in this landscape. They are the digital guardians, maintaining the sanctity of our data and systems. And to do this effectively, they need to think like their adversaries. This brings us to the concept of reconnaissance techniques. Reconnaissance, in the context of cybersecurity, is the first step in a cyber attack. It's like the quiet before the storm, where cybercriminals silently gather information about their targeted systems. But don't be fooled, these techniques aren't just the tools of the nefarious. They're also used by security professionals to fortify their defenses. Let's uncover the mystery behind these techniques used by both cybercriminals and security professionals. The first type of reconnaissance technique we're going to delve into is active reconnaissance. This technique is much like a game of chess, where the attacker, akin to a chess player, makes calculated moves, engaging directly with the target system to gather valuable information. But remember, just as a chess player reveals their strategy with each move, active reconnaissance often leaves behind traces, making the attacker's presence known. Active reconnaissance is a multifaceted process that employs a range of techniques. Let's walk through some of the most common ones. First up, we have port scanning. Think of it as knocking on every door in a building to see which ones are open. In the digital realm, an attacker uses this technique to identify open ports on a network system, which can reveal potential points of entry. Next, we have vulnerability scanning. This technique is akin to a burglar testing the strength of each door they find. In the cyber world, attackers use this technique to identify weaknesses in a system's security, looking for loopholes and vulnerabilities that can be exploited. Lastly, we have operating system fingerprinting. This technique identifies the type and version of the operating system running on the target machine. It's much like a detective trying to determine the make and model of a car from its tire tracks. Knowing the operating system allows attackers to tailor their attack methods for maximum effect. These are just a handful of the tools in the active reconnaissance toolbox, each providing attackers with different pieces of the puzzle. Like a game of chess, each move brings them one step closer to their ultimate goal. Active reconnaissance, an aggressive approach, often leaves traces, making it easier to detect. But what if the attacker wants to remain completely unnoticed? Enter passive reconnaissance, the silent observer of the cyber world. Unlike its active counterpart, passive reconnaissance is all about observation without direct engagement. Think of it as a spy observing their target from afar, gathering information without alerting the subject of their scrutiny. Let's dive into the different types of passive reconnaissance techniques that are commonly used by cyber actors. First up, we have traffic analysis. This is a technique where an attacker studies the flow of data between devices and servers. By observing this data, they can identify patterns, understand the network layout, and gather valuable information about the system's vulnerabilities. They aren't poking or prodding the system, they are merely watching the data as it moves, like an eagle eyeing its prey. Next, we have email harvesting. This technique involves collecting email addresses from various sources. These could be public directories, websites, or even social media platforms. Once the attacker has a substantial list, they can use it for various purposes, such as spear phishing attacks or to spread malware. The scary part? They do all this without ever touching your system. Finally, let's talk about social engineering. This is a technique where the attacker manipulates people into divulging confidential information. It could be as simple as a phone call to an unsuspecting employee, pretending to be from the IT department. Or it could be an elaborate hoax involving multiple players. The common thread is that the attacker is gathering information without directly interacting with the system. As we delve deeper into the world of passive reconnaissance, it becomes clear that it's more than just a game of cloak and dagger. It's a complex dance of observation, analysis, and manipulation. And while it may be harder to detect, it's not infallible. Remember, every method has its strengths and weaknesses. Understanding these can help us devise strategies to counter them. As we can see, passive reconnaissance can be much harder to detect, but each method has its pros and cons. So why is it important for us to understand these reconnaissance techniques? Well, the answer lies in the very heart of cybersecurity. Understanding how reconnaissance techniques work is like reading the playbook of potential cyber attackers. It gives us a glimpse into their strategies, their methods, and their mindset. It's about knowing your enemy, and in this case, that enemy is anyone who might seek to exploit vulnerabilities in our networks. By comprehending these techniques, we can design and implement security systems that are robust and resilient. We can anticipate potential attack vectors and create defenses to counter them. This knowledge allows us to proactively guard against cyber threats rather than reacting to them after the damage has been done. Moreover, it helps us educate others about the dangers lurking in the digital world, promoting a culture of cybersecurity awareness. And so, in the end, we come to realize that in the world of cybersecurity, knowledge truly is power. Today, we've taken a journey into the world of cyber reconnaissance. We've delved into the heart of network administration, understanding the different techniques used to gather information about a system. We started with active reconnaissance techniques, where we explored how these methods involve direct interaction with the system to glean valuable data. We learned that these techniques, while effective, can also be risky, as they can easily be detected. Next, we ventured into the realm of passive reconnaissance techniques. These methods are more covert, gathering information indirectly without interacting with the system, making them less likely to be detected. We also highlighted the importance of understanding these reconnaissance techniques in cybersecurity. Knowledge of these techniques empowers us to anticipate potential threats, design robust security protocols, and maintain the integrity of our networks. Remember, in the battle against cyber threats, understanding the enemy's tactics is the first step towards a secure network.